Hey you guys, it's Brian. We are back with another video, and this one is going to be focused on why people don't understand INFJs and why they're so easily misunderstood because of their unique perspective on life. So the easiest way to explain this is that imagine that you are at the shopping mall, right? You're walking along and you're looking through all of the store windows because something catches your attention. And so you notice that a particular store, it has a very clean window, right? So you look into the store, you're looking through it through the window, and you notice the window is very clean, right? And so because the window is very clean, it allows you to see not just into the store, but also what's behind you, right? Because the glass is flat, and so it reflects to you what is behind you. And so, as a result, there's three things that you can basically see when you're stopped in front of the store window, right? You can see into the store, you can see what's on the actual window itself, and you can also see what the window is reflecting to you, so you can see what's behind you. So that's one way that you can actually see in three kind of like different realities or perspectives, right? You can see into the store, you can see behind you, and you can see what's actually on the window. INFJs have this perspective where they are aware that they are looking through a store window, and they can see these three perspectives. That is why it is so difficult for them to be understood, because most people, when they look through a store window, they only focus on what's inside the store. They don't focus on the reflections that are behind them, because to them it doesn't matter, right? They're looking into the store because they want to see what's inside the store. They're shopping, right? They don't care about the people that are walking behind them. They want to look into the store and see what items are there to interest them. And so most people have this perspective of only either looking into the store or looking at the window itself to see whether or not it's dirty, right? Because if the window is dirty, then it's going to obscure your view and you're not going to be able to see what's inside the store. So most people, they only focus on these two perspectives, which is what's on the actual window itself and what they can see through the window. INFJs can see the third perspective, which most people miss, which is the reflection that the window actually shows. And so INFJs are always operating on this principle that that instead of just looking into the window, they're also looking at the reflections, right? And so when you ask an INFJ for their input or their perspective or their advice, they may give you something that comes from the perspective of looking at the window's reflection. And so to many people, this confuses them, because they're like, what do you mean the store window? There's a third perspective, right? There's only the store and the items that are in it, right? There are no people that are within the actual store itself. But then to the INFJ, this makes sense, because they're like, well, I'm looking through the window and I see people, right? Because it's being reflected off the glass of the shop. But then people are like, I don't see any people inside the store, I only see items. But then the INFJ insists, it's just like, well, I don't. And so there's this like disparity, right? Because the INFJ sees one perspective, but then the other people don't see that perspective. And so they think the INFJ is crazy, because they don't see things from the same way that the INFJ does. The INFJ is aware that the store window allows you to see three different perspectives. Most people are only aware of one or two perspectives, and so as a result, it's very difficult for people to understand that third perspective unless they're willing to shift their way of thinking. And that comes from being humble, right? It comes from realizing that you don't know everything that there actually is. And so most people are so focused on shopping that they can't see the world around them. They can't see what's actually in the present moment, right? They're so busy, you know, shopping, looking inside stores, they don't see the reflections that the world is showing them around them. And so that's why it's so difficult for INFJs in particular to relate to people, because the INFJ, not so much because the INFJ is out of tune with what's going on in their environment, but it's because the INFJ is kind of bored of always looking at their environment and not seeing anything interesting or special, right? And so they want to go deeper into what is special, what is unknown, what is mysterious, what is that which other people do not see, right? So, for example, I was talking to my logical friend the other day, and there was a really nice sunset just behind the mountains. It's like a wonderful array of colors. It's like just like orange, pink, yellow, just a whole spectrum of colors that you would expect from a sunset. And then to me, I was just like, wow, that sunset is like amazing, right? Look at all the colors, it's so beautiful. And then my logical friend is just like, what's so great about the sun, right? It's just a big ball of light. And then he laughs at his own joke, because he's just like, you know, look at me, I'm so smart, right? I don't know what beauty is. That's their perspective, right? Because they're only seeing things from that one angle. They see things for what it is, instead of the beauty of the natural world, right? And that's why it's so difficult, because INFJs are always trying to seek out something which has meaning, or which is not really noticed by anyone else. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, but basically, going back to the example with the window, again, there's three perspectives. INFJs can see all three perspectives, but they prefer to focus on the one which people don't necessarily understand, which is the reflections that you see through the window. So that's why it can be difficult if you're trying to communicate to someone and they don't understand you. It's not that the INFJ is crazy or stupid, it's just that you have not found someone, if you're an INFJ, and you find it difficult to communicate to people. It is that your audience is not on the same level as you are when it comes to interpreting different perspectives. That is something that you need to realize. It's something I had to realize. Because I'd always try to communicate with people, and I would get frustrated, because I'm just like, why does no one understand what I'm trying to say, right? Why does no one see that there's people in the window? So I say that, right? It sounds crazy, right? There's people inside the window. I can see them. They're walking by me, and I can even name them, right? That guy's wearing a red shirt. That guy's wearing blue socks. That guy's wearing a black, I don't know, dress, whatever. You say things like that, and it sounds crazy, but then that's what we actually see, right? We see people walking inside the window because it's being reflected into what's behind us. So we may not necessarily be able to put into words exactly what it is that we're trying to say. It's just that we see things for what they are. That is what we see. We don't understand it, but that is what we see. And so we share what we see, not what we understand. And I think that's where the biggest disparity comes from when it comes to communicating with an INFJ. Because we are very good at seeing things which we don't understand, but then to put it into a way which other people can understand is like the difficult part. So when we see, it's like when an INFJ says, I see people walking inside the window. It's not actually people are physically walking inside the window. It's that we see the reflection being reflected off of the window, and that creates the illusion that there's people walking inside of the window pane. But we can't explain it like that because we don't actually understand it. Like, right? Assume that the INFJ has no understanding of how light physics works, and so they're going to describe things from the perspective of, you know, oh, I see people walking inside the window. This is crazy. So yeah, I hope that explanation helps to clear things up. when it comes to communicating with other people and with INFJs. That's it from me. Hope you have a wonderful day. As always, let me know if there's any other kind of videos you'd like me to talk about. Fall is coming, so make sure you go out there, get that fresh air, get some vitamin D before it's all gone and the winter blues kick in. That's it from me for today. Have a wonderful day, and peace out.